Hi stars. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get better about quality control. I hope the lighting is decent. Let's check Mr. Frame. Hopefully you can see me well enough. But yeah, I'm already wearing this delicious Dragon Beauty Dragon Gloss. I believe the color is Dragon Blood. It's really hard to read, especially in the subtle lighting of tonight, but I think it's built quite the same way as the Gloss Nikita, but I think this one is called Dragon Blood, and this is what it's looking like. It's giving plum, it's giving purple. You know, it kind of set off this little somewhat of a top from Zara. I've been making content all day, so I'm actually quite excited and delighted to get into, a few things. I was very fortunate to get my hands on. I'm really still trying to use some tape to finesse my eyeshadow game. And hello to some of my regular viewers and commenters. I hope I'm going to entertain you tonight, but I was very lucky to get hold of this palette from Dragun Beauty. It's Dragun Beauty's Face Pressed Powder palette. It's got a lot of exciting shades. I played with it a little bit, but it's got contour shades, shimmers, a blush, and some highlighters, and I don't know what I expected. I had actually randomly gone to Nikita's pop-up shop at the Beverly Center prior to the Global Panini, and it was just kind of cool to see it. I didn't really know much about makeup or anything. I kind of got into, especially YouTube makeup creators and gurus, I kind of got into that during quarantine, but it's been necessary, or I guess Global Panini, it's been necessary because of my job. And, the asks are unrelenting in terms of, you're asked to come with base makeup on. You're asked to, even men are asked to come with products to kill shine and so many things. So, my makeup practice is about, it's sort of like thinking about Naomi Campbell in the 90s, how they had her looking a little bit crazy. Just in terms of like products being not really necessarily built for her. And, she had to do a lot of her stuff herself. It's like being a curly haired person, right? You would think people who are professional hair people would understand that a brush does not go near this hair. Like, no, unless you want it to look disastrous. Like, the smartest hair person I've encountered was the head of hair on a show called Strange Angel. And for 1940s period hair, she smeared Aveeno in my hair, right? Lotion. And then kind of pushed it to bring out the natural wave and made victory rolls. And it was so sculptural and amazing. And she, as opposed to other, hair team members who were, pulling out the hot tools, everything was flat iron and curling iron and smoke and damaging your hair. It's not necessary to damage your skin, your hair, or anything else for beauty. You can get it done. You really can. You can get it done, and sorry, just checking the frame. You can get it done and you can enjoy it too. So what are we doing? We only have a little powder on. I think we put some blurring products on a long time ago. And I thought that we would use something to underpaint. Should I do eyelid priming and highlighting? I did get another shade of the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is the shade Light Ivory. Before I was using Light Beige, but this one's even paler. So let's see if we can rock with that. I'm getting some terrible, some kind of terrible, this is my little friend for, person who's the turd of the week. but I'm just getting this glare that's making it hard for me to see. I gotta do something about it because no. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't know what this bright light is about. It's very terrible. Let's see. No. There we go. I hope that's turned off this terrible bright light because it is no bueno. Enable flash. Maybe that was the problem. Or is this now even worse? Huh. I don't know. I look with interest at people who, oh dear, it's even brighter. I don't want flash on because it makes me unable to see. Let's see. Disable flash. That should do it. I hope it does it. But in any case, you know, we're just here to explore our makeup practice, right? We go to writing class to explore our writing practice, and we get into our chair with our little friend to, you know, support the lower back and get some makeup on. So why not, right? It's important, and it really does have an impact, you know, like when you have to play different characters, other people may not be acquainted with your face shape, with your skin tone. They may not, in fact, be as in love with you as you are with yourself. So, taking that into account, you kind of have to prepare, make sure that you have the right materials, and that you experiment with creators who, you know, either may share your skin tone and undertones or may not, right? And figuring out what that can mean for you, right? Some products don't work at all. Some products work great. Just getting this dough foot into our little dish, and then we're gonna smush that on with our favorite flexible silicone sponge. Have you seen this video of this woman? It's a short. I don't think it's a TikTok, but she has a very odd, she says it's a makeup tool, but it looks like a tongue, and it really is disturbing to kind of watch her squeezing it and kind of carrying on with it. And everyone, including me, commented, we don't really think that that's what that thing is. Have you seen it? It's pink, whatever it is. And it's, it seems inappropriate. I'll put it like that. And she just very naively is like, oh, this is the greatest makeup tool ever. When you see it, think of me, because you'll be shocked and appalled for sure. But yeah, how's everything else? I know, you know, we continue to see a lot of drama across the country, right? Sometimes this world of, you know, different people who have different agendas can be a little overwhelming. So if we can take some time, you know, stay in our makeup atelier and explore some new products, you know, maybe that's going to calm us down for the week ahead. You know, there have been some roles that I've been up for recently in terms of being a law enforcement, a pregnant woman, and some other things, right? And I kind of, in the moment, I get hyped. I'm like, oh, could I do that? Oh, what's the right, you know, kind of way for me to do that or be that or something like that. And then if it doesn't happen, it's fine. But, you know, you go through these periods of where you have to kind of like mentally prepare, right? Mentally prepare, work on your body, work on your hair, work on your craft, work on your love life, you know, but keep yourself kind of healthy and happy so that, you know, in the moment, sometimes we have to deal with, you know, some odd characters on set, as I've discussed in the past. I see that our friend Brant Osborne has been indicted for, shall we say, unaliving two young women, young models, two people that he and his friends, I guess, encountered at a warehouse party somewhere in LA, maybe in downtown LA. They're very elaborate documentaries and articles about these matters, but they've just come to a head in terms of an indictment. And, you know, people are saying, oh, justice. I mean, I think we have a long way to go before we get to justice, but, you know, very slowly the wheels are turning. But Brant, who comes from Staten Island, did change his acting name, which you're very much allowed to do in the union SAG-AFTRA, you know, as a performer. Sometimes people have a name that they think isn't elegant or suitable for whatever their acting brand is, but he got questioned by someone who's on his Facebook, and he was like, oh yeah, I changed my name because I still want to get hired in this industry, right? Taking away, never mind being a registered offender or whatever goes into that, but my man is accused of unaliving two people. There were substances and whatever you call it when you don't let people leave. Anyway, that happened. All of this to say, you know, sometimes the people at work aren't your best friends. They shouldn't be your best friends. They are people at work, and sometimes you just got to give it time and see what people are all about. But unfortunately, Mr. Staten Island seems to be about that heavy BS. So we got Thread Face It Complexion Stick from Target in the shade 180 Rich Brown Cool. Now we tested this out a little bit on our wrist earlier today. I thought we might use this. Again, we've underpainted highlighting concealer. We got the highlighting concealer on our lids. Should we put on some contour and then do eyeshadow? Let's do that, just to entertain ourselves. So if we use this very thin, I believe, lip brush, right? And get it down into this stick foundation, which promises us that it is cool. Now, is it true? Or are we going to get played again? We shall see. Just getting that onto our brush. Looking into our mirror. Hopefully you can see my ghosty contour highlight face. You know, I've watched some, I always am watching makeup tutorials with interest and kind of seeing how people develop and refine their look with cosmetics, right? Some people don't even contour the whole jaw. They seem to apply product only at a certain place, and then they kind of fluff it around with their brush, and then in an edited video it's all done before you can even ascertain what they've done, right? I find that so frustrating because, you know, sometimes you just want to learn, right? All these people who are dotting products all over their face and saying it's one layer of makeup, and then, you know, when it gets to the juicy part, when they're going from blending highlighting concealer to foundation, and then they go to contour, they cut so you can't even see what they did. And it's very annoying because, you know, some of us need to learn. I certainly put myself in that camp, but some people are unwilling to share, and I get it. You know, the edited video game is, I guess it's a good one. I really wouldn't know, at least not yet. I've done minimal editing, and I should do more, but I don't know why I'm like tilting my head up when I can actually tilt my mirror down to see what I'm doing under my chin. I am curious about how quickly this product sets, and what's the proper thing to blend it with. Is it a brush? Is it a beauty sponge? I don't know. We'll find out. Is this shade properly cool, however? It's so hard to think of brown as being cool. But again, our continuing quest for converging lines on our nose, right? Some people say diamond shape, but I've been looking at some of my favorite actresses and I see parallel lines on their nose. I don't see a big old U. I see parallel lines in the center to create an optical illusion, right? Just slow down and take care. Trying not to make mistakes and trying not to put too much product that's going to go absolutely wild. Now, whenever I draw these lines, they're never quite close enough together for my taste. Is it something that, do I need a stencil like those eyebrow stencils that a lot of people are using? Let me stop before I keep putting more and more product on my nose. That's, you know, I'm just so frustrated by people. I see so many orange and brown noses tooling around outside, tooling around on TikTok and Instagram, and it just, I don't know, it's too much in my opinion. But let's see where I get with it today. So if that's where we are, and look, we forgot to do the other cheek. So if this is it, and then we do all over here, right? Trying to achieve symmetry. Some people say curl the contour up, right? So take that line up somewhat, and then take it down, right? Are we connecting it to our chin contour? Why not? So if we take it down and connect it, then we also have to take it up. And what's nice about this product is I do believe it's cool, right? So no orange, no red. There's nothing wrong with those colors, but for contour, right? What we're doing is underpainting, and we're wanting to do distinct lines that are on the thin side. So we're not trying to make a big muddy mess on our face, right? It looks so elegant when people can very quickly contour with bronzer, but that's what leads to orange face to me. I don't know. Maybe I'll get to loving the orange face, but I don't love it yet. Right? Contouring. Looks a little crazy now, but hopefully it will melt into our face and create the optical illusion of beauty. That's what we're aiming for. So this is my third shade of this thread Face It complexion stick. I'm very happy with them so far. It didn't occur to me to get one of the lightest shades that would work as an actual concealer, or sorry, complexion product for me. These are foundation sticks. I didn't even check for it. I was so excited by the idea that these are cool stick foundations that might finally work as a credible contour for me, because I listen to the people. I listen to what they say about LA Girl and all this. I see the colors that they recommend using, and then it just can become a smeary mess that doesn't add up to nothing, right? So we retire our little tiny brush, right? Use this little tiny brush to do what we can with it, right? And then from here, should we take our silicone sponge and see if we can pat and drag this contour shade around? respecting our skin, loving our skin, but making this contouring even and blended, just to give it that finesse of looking realistic, right? Are we shrinking our forehead? I think so. Are we lifting our cheekbone contour? Are we feeling the bone to make sure that it's in the right place, right? Not wanting to drag it out too wide, not wanting to be a muddy mess on our skin, but wanting to kind of tap it in and screen it down so it doesn't look quite so stripy, right? Look at any areas where you think maybe, oh, maybe I put too much highlighting concealer in, right? So if we're using the warmth of our skin, right, and the silicone sponge, but back to this freakish tongue makeup sponge this chick was using. It really was comedy, because it looked like a tongue. It was like wide and shaped like a tongue, and when she dipped it into product, I don't need to tell you, it looked vulgar. It looked like it was supposed to be something else. I mean, there's a few options on the table of what it was supposed to look like, but it was disturbing. But I did, you know, it was a remarkable short because I remember it and I was disturbed enough to comment. And that's always the game, right? How do we make something of impact where people at least feel inspired to comment, right? I see people taking their concealer and really using a little brush to make a little edge around their brow. I don't even see how that's necessary because my brow is very clearly where it is. I don't know why I would need to take so much care with a little brush around my brows, because I'm not there yet. If that's a necessary technique, let me know, because I don't see the necessity of it. So just using this beauty sponge to get at any areas that look chalky or overly highlight, overly concealed, where the product maybe doesn't look as even and blended and skin-like as it could, right? We're not trying to completely erase the ghostiness, right? Maybe we can take this very bright chin. What is that terrible smell outside? You know, people in California really do love the Doja. Apparently that's what Doja means in the word Doja Cat. All hours, just the whole town is just reeking. You know, you question it. Like, yeah, I'm sure it's fun, but you know, at a certain level you have to question your need for so much constant chemical stimulation. Beauty sponge. This is a warrior beauty sponge. So from here, should we finally use tape? Should we finally try it? What all the girlies are doing? Bam! To make a sharp, crisp line coming out of our lower lash line and hopefully not take off our lashes. Making the ideal, ooh, this is pretty sticky. The ideal angle, lifting up out of our lower lash line. It feels quite terrible, but let's see where it goes. We're doing this on top of moisturized skin. We're not wearing primer, we're just wearing moisturizer and concealer. Sliding it underneath the eye lashes and hopefully not removing any of our eyelashes. We're trying it. There does seem to be special tape for this purpose, but I just have regular tape. Well, it's unpleasant, but let's get on with it. Hopefully we don't injure ourselves. Oof, this one feels particularly terrible. All right, so we peeled it off, put it back on. It seems to have taken off makeup with it, but you know, this is how it works. So we have palettes to play with, right? As promised, we've got this Soph X Revolution, Makeup Revolution London palette. Wow, right? It's got neutrals, it's got yellow, it's got red, it's got some shimmers. We got this Doja Cat. It's a different one of her BH Cosmetics blush trios, right? We had that one that had yellow in it. This one has a gold, kind of a mauvey brown, and then an orange. Crazy, right? With this lip, bananas. And then we also have another Dragun Beauty. This is volume 2 palette, and it's got some exciting shades in here. So if we go into our Soph X palette, and if we try to use these e.l.f. Cosmetics brushes in the way that they're supposed to be used, I believe we're supposed to set the lid with this brush, which is the eyeshadow C. Apply a base eyeshadow all over the lid. Okay, maybe let's rock with this. We've got a neutral and we've got kind of a more pumpkin-y shade. Should we go for the neutral? I guess so. I want to do pumpkin, but there's a lot of different colors to consider. In the Dragun Beauty palette, there's also the shade Ditzy, which is quite kind of peach. So maybe let's go with the kind of cocky shade and see what Miss Soph X is working with. I kept seeing her palettes and I didn't know who she was. This is, you know, this is not me trying to pretend that I know all about everybody in makeup. This is just me trying to get myself, you know, it's like fashion, right? Depending on what your situation is. If you're a banker, you're going to wear suits. If you're a ballerina, you're going to wear, you know, stage costumes and then practice costumes. You're not really going to be into high-end denim, right? But when you have a career that has a variety of looks, I was watching with interest someone who is online attempting to sell her NYPD uniform, right? She's selling her NYPD uniform, she's selling her picture cars, and it's sort of like, is everything okay? This is really quite a beautiful shade. I am never disappointed by Makeup Revolution London, and as I've applied this liberally all over my lid, I'm reminded of tutorials that I've seen where people are actually doing negative eyeliner, right? And I kind of want to take this all the way over to the nose bridge just to see what it looks like. But the game is to take a pale pencil, right? Either that or you could use micellar water or something like that. But I have these NYX Wonder pencils, right? I've got the shade light, I've got medium, I've got medium peach, and I've got some sort of deeper shade that I can't read, warm deep. So if we rock with light, right? Is it possible, and this even has two ends on it, one is matte and one is shimmer. Very clever, right? If we use the matte end of this, the suggestion is that you can use a light shade to create a liner effect that creates differentiation without being black. Now, this is a bit draggy. Should we sharpen it and see if we get a better result? I just happen to have, checking my frame to see that hopefully the live has not died. That has happened to me on more than one occasion, as you know. But using our sharpener just to take off the outside skin of this pencil, and hopefully giving us a moist and ready surface. You know, it might help if it were hotter. at this hour, right? But can we get it on our eye as a brightening? It's supposed to do 3 things. It's supposed to brighten, conceal, and line. I don't know how effective this is being. And it is quite draggy and uncomfortable. But in any case, let's try it in the waterline. We never do that. And it's light. It's not white. It's light. Getting it into our lash line. They always claim this is supposed to open up your eye or make it look. When I've seen people put white in their eye, oh, it looks so crazy. I'm not loving this pencil. It feels dry as the Mojave Desert, but this is the theory of it, right? Negative eyeliner, and then people draw a graphic line. This is doing nothing. We tried it. There might be a better occasion for this pencil. I do have high hopes for this style of pencil if we give it another whirl with a sharpen. There was someone who was on YouTube saying that they quite liked it as a concealer for rosacea, right? We're already wearing concealer. Let's see if we can get it underneath the brow bone, if that's going to give us any kind of payoff. And it seems to be paying off better up there, right? Making a lifted shape out toward the temple, right? So is today the day when we're going to get into the graphic eyeshadow eyeliner game? Unclear. But we trying it. We're trying something. But we are getting somewhat color payoff, but it seems to be lifting our tape. All right, so if that's what we've done, we're going to leave it alone. But I don't dislike the idea of this pencil, and I definitely don't dislike this shadow from this Soph X. It's a very sophisticated, kind of cocky brown, right? Have we done anything wrong? I don't think so. But, you know, we're thinking about our friends in the drag world, and we're thinking about what would be, I guess, an exciting shadow. I guess what's important at this stage is to do something symmetrical. So let's knock out this shadow and then work with that eye pencil on the other side. Again, we're rocking with the, what do you call it? The light shade, right? We have darker shades of the, what is it called? Wonder pencil. And the pencil certainly does make me wonder. But yeah, this color is amazing. I didn't think that a random small palette like this would be so sophisticated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did pick up some other Revolution palettes, the Earth palette, which has 45 shades for like $8 or $9, which it's mind-blowing to me because who am I that I need that many shades? I'm not sure. But I feel like even this, for a no makeup look, just a monochromatic, and again, the theory is that we're using this to set the concealer that we've used to prime our lids. But this color, I do not dislike it on its own. As I say, in these streets, I see people doing monochromatic eyeshadow. And it just seems so far out that they would just do one color and leave it at that. It's better than no eyeshadow, but it looks, I don't know. It just looks like you're not really trying. Anyway, let's get this pencil under this eyebrow. And then we want to lift it up. It would be great if this pencil were creamier. It feels sort of crumbly, and it's leading to some skips and mistakes, but it is looking rather dramatic. Just going out toward the temple with it. And maybe it's easier to get the pencil on the kind of like flatter, more muscular surfaces of the eyes. But then if we try it here, right above our tape, it just doesn't give us the same exciting payoff. On the lid, it feels like torture. But, you know, maybe something that's more of a cream and more of a graphic liquid would be better. We tried it. Okay, moving on. I know you're like, Tanya, we don't have forever. Let me check my frame to see that my live has not died. Yep, we're still rocking. We're still live. Yay! We're still in the game. Wow, what a shock. But yeah. Soph X, check. So we're living up to what we actually claimed in the title of this live. We're living up to having some Soph X. I'll be very curious to get into these other shades from Miss Soph X. This is my first little foray into her world. But now if we switch gears and we get into Miss Nikita Dragun and this volume 2. Does this have a title? Fantasy Palette Volume 2. The other one was called the Birthday Palette. I'm not sure what this palette is called. But if what we're... I always want to keep putting these stickers that say, who's the baddest of them all, back into the palette. I shouldn't do that. It is a tiny mirror. Heard people complain about that, but better than no mirror. So, crease shade. They say take a fluffy brush, and I have been looking with interest at the Jaclyn Hill Morphe brushes that are for sale at Marshall's now. You know, I'm ready to cheat on Mr. Jeffree Star and his blending brushes, which I think are great brushes, but hers look a little synthetic and smooth. Nothing to me beats this real scratchy white. Is it goat hair? That would be appropriate considering. But okay, crease shade. So if we're rocking with the cocky brown, then crease shade could be, let's try to see what Ditzy does. It probably won't do anything because it's peach and it feels like it's the same tone as the brown, but you know, using our tape as a guide, making small circles to be like the beauty gurus, right? Just along the crease, or for a hooded eye person, just above the crease. And if we pat instead of tiny circles, right? But tiny circles seems to be the name of the game. And, you know, I've learned a lot more about the anatomy of the eye, because what you're trying to do is go under this muscle, and it makes a kind of wavy shape, and then lift that shape out toward the end of the eyebrow. Hi CS, I know you're going to be watching this at some point. So it's paying off on top of this lighter concealer and that cocky shade from Miss Soph X. It's paying off. It looks more pink than peach on my skin, on top of that concealer, on top of that cocky eyeshadow. I'm very excited. There's episodes of television I need to catch up on. You know what a fan I am of General Hospital and what is happening with certain characters on that show. You know, it's exciting that they've given the Black characters story and sort of family endeavor that aren't just kind of inconsequential. It really is, you know, I like when they give their hero characters like Trina kind of outrage so people can root for her and hope for her to, you know, kind of get justice, right? Just like our real friends, it's not necessarily true that an actual indictment leads to conviction, but it is a step in the right direction. And, you know, what Trina has been put through by that terrible ass girlfriend of Spencer is very upsetting. Now, I am looking in the mirror. I have this mirror, I have my hand mirror, and at a distance, this looks fire. It looks like a highlit brow. It looks like cocky, and then we used a different brush to lay in this peach. How do we take this makeup and finish it without effing it up? That is the question, right? Look at what our friend Nikita Dragun has for us. There's a matte brown, there's a matte blue, then there's a green. What is an outer corner color and what is an inner corner shimmer that makes sense here, right? Looking back at our Soph X palette, there's some inner corner shimmers that are, one is sort of like a champagne-y pink and one is like a gold. Maybe the gold. But maybe we should rock with the champagne-y pink. But outer corner wise, just to give, you know, Nikita Dragun the respect that she deserves, maybe we can use this eyeshadow C brush, right? Reading the description again. Creating a smoky effect by blending a deeper shade all over the lid, stopping at the crease. Use the blending brush for a diffuse daytime look or eyeshadow C brush for deeper, more concentrated color. Now, there's no discussion. This isn't smoky eye brush kit, but what I like to do as a hooded eye person is an outer V to complement the structure of the eye. We got that tape on. So using the same brush, if we get into this egg-shaped palette and this color Baked Baddie, which is a brown, just get a little bit on our brush, closing our eye, lash line, and then the top of the crease, right? Thinking about a lifted shape, thinking about the tips of the brush, just like the tips of that weird that weird tool. You gotta see this video. It's so gross and yet intriguing. Thinking about a lifted shape, wanting to kiss this brown just above the fold of the crease in our eye, right? Trying to be precise. Is this the job for a pencil brush? Is this brush too broad? We can perhaps make it work, but we have gotten our hands on. If we look down in our mirror, make sure to get this brown into the actual crease of our eye so that the drama doesn't get interrupted when we close our eye or look down. Just carefully drawing a V at the outer part of that lid so that when you look around, it just looks interesting, right? If you're at dinner with a dinner companion, I did tell you, right, when I was on a hospital show recently and I took time in the bathroom and the green room and did my makeup with a dupe for the Nabla Soul Blooming palette that my dining companion on the show praised my eyeshadow. I thought, I have arrived, right? If a man, you know, just a regular man, cishet man, compliments my eyeshadow, right? That I gave him something interesting and pretty to look at is kind of, it's kind of where any of us want to be with our makeup and our eyeshadow game. Like, yeah, you could be plain faced, and that's fine, right? But looking at these colors and kind of deciding which ones might flow together in an interesting way, which ones might allow us to build a lifted shape that reaches out toward that temple and up toward that, the tail of our brow, kisses into our actual crease, right? Just wanting the blend to be even. I think a pencil brush should be the name of the game going forward because our crease is so full. We need a little tiny brush to get in there, right? And I did want to try with this e.l.f. brush set, but it's kind of, I don't know, just getting a little bit muddy. But I like this color combo. What do you think, right? It's that Ditzy, the Baked Baddie, and then that, I don't know if this has a shade name. No, just a number. It's number 1. So from here, if we're good here, right? Is this the moment where we pull the tape off? Or should we get our inner corner shimmer going? We have many brushes. We inspected our brush. We tried to lay out a workflow before we started, but we did find this very discreet little cheap, the Creme Shop brush that we got. I only say cheap because I got it on sale at the 99-cent store for $1. Do you think this costs 99 cents now, or are they $1 something? I can't recall. Maybe $1.25 or something of that sort. But we're gonna dig into this Soph X palette. We're gonna use this champagne color, and get that into our inner corner. And we're gonna try to be very precise and not get sloppy with it. Not make a big glistening orb, but really be responsible, right? It's like spirits. You have to be responsible about their use. You don't want them to be everywhere. They shouldn't bleed into the whole week, right? The rest of the week you need to go to the gym. The rest of the week you need to, do other things. But if you can look into your tiny palette mirror and just look at the inner part of your lid and then tap that on to see if you're going to get any kind of color payoff. This color is nice, but the texture, is it the brush? Does it need to be wet? Because we're getting not a lot. Do we need to kind of break past the upper surface of the shadow? Right? I've been listening to people talk about hitting hard pan, and I don't think that's what's happening here. I mean, it certainly is there, but it's not kind of giving us the creamy payoff that we expected. We're gonna work with it. We're trying not to go ham and damage the product, but God forbid we were in a hurry. I like a nice leisurely makeup live. It would have been good to do it during the daytime, but we do what we can. Kiss that inner corner and lay it down like a little foil, like a little eyeshadow topper, a little interest. Something, it's not a duochrome. It's more like it's kind of like a shimmery peach. And I think that does it. Maybe we can get a little on our lower lash line, right underneath what we tried to do with that Wonder pencil. That Wonder pencil that made us wonder. And then we can kind of go over the blend with our e.l.f. brush. But this is us. It's like reading a book. We're just finding out what this... Now, I don't hate this without the shimmer. The theory being that we bring light to the inner corner of our hooded eye with shimmers that hopefully give us decent payoff. I'm nervous to wet this brush or this shadow. So we'll tap away, and hopefully the makeup gods will see this eyeshadow paying off in a way that will be exciting to, dinner companions, party people. My friend still accuses me, helicopter, hopefully they're not looking for me, still accuses me of matching my eyeshadow to my outfit, and I don't think I did that. It's cool that people thought I did that. You know, again, I aspire to seem good at makeup. I don't want to seem like a try-hard, but I just think that's quite funny. You know, she's someone who spends quite a lot of money on skincare, but doesn't really, to my eyes, doesn't really wear makeup. So, what is quite the right color to blend over toward this shimmer color? I think that is going to be the peach from Nikita Dragun, right? We could go crazy and add another color to the mix, but I don't think that we should. I think we should take our same brush and just tap over into this shimmer color just to finesse the blend, just to make it seem less like it just appeared out of nowhere. We just want it to go together, right? Go together as if somehow this just naturally erupted out of our lid space. I'm more of an inner corner shimmer person. I'm less of a halo eye person. My innovation today has been trying to incorporate the Wonder Pencil. Now we could use a different brush to finesse the blend, but I think we're in an okay place. And I do actually like what this underbrow highlighting pencil has done. It just lends a sort of graphic element that, you know, we could even go further with. We do actually have a number of graphic shadow pencils and whatnot, right, from our friends NYX, right? We've got black. This is gray black. We've got blue, we've got white and red, right? I know that there's a purple and there's a yellow as well. But we also have from this Doja Cat white eyeliner, green and black, and then we have blue, burnt orange, and deep purple, right? Maybe the burnt orange liquid eyeshadow, right? Is this the right moment? Is this the right place to explore this particular graphic element, right? If it's to add another layer of interest to our eyeshadow. Sorry, I'm terrible. I need to put this sticker back into this palette. I don't know why. I'll lose it eventually and then I'll leave it alone. Okay, so Doja Cat, burnt orange. What can we do? What can we do to make this even more interesting? We've kind of used shadow to line, but we need a sharp brush. Something sharp, not too much wiggle in it. Here's something of unknown origin. Here is this shadow. Should we get it in our dish? I think so. Into the dish it goes, right? Enough of it, not too much. These are hard to find after all. So if we take our brush and then just, it's not a very flexible brush, or maybe it is. There we go, we just wet it. And then we get our mirror, right? Is this something that can, I guess, go under this white line? Seems like it needs like a different brush. But you know, for first try, I don't hate it. It sort of gives you an exotic kind of molten texture that then sails over into that inner corner shimmer. And I have seen like stencils for eyeshadow you know, that sort of more graphic kind of drag makeup style, right? Taking off our tape, it certainly did make things sharp. But, whoops, if we treat this like a liner, here we go with the, what do you call it? Fireworks outside again. Right, take it underneath the lower lash line and then lift it out toward the temple. This is a really beautiful color. And again, I do like to explore makeup and makeup lines by people who, you know, somewhat share my skin tone or undertone or something. You know, like you see people who don't test this makeup and they're like, oh, I don't understand why you would have highlighters that are so dark. It's like, yeah, they're dark on you, but they're not super dark on us. So I'm getting a little confused out here in the temple, but you know, this is my first attempt at something graphic, right? Trying to do something that isn't just the same old for you, the people, right? I watched a tutorial about how to do your inner corner flick. Drag it out and then think about small triangle shapes. I didn't really intend to fully line the lower lash line, but it actually looks kind of cool. Should we do the upper lash line? Why not? I don't hate it. Right? To give yourself, especially when you don't have to be at work, the freedom to be artistic. Now this feels more like a Halloween style makeup, but copper, right? Burnt orange is what it's called in the pan, but I feel like it's copper. So we use our little brush and try to use up what's left in our little dish. Why not? To do something hopefully symmetrical. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. That's not working out, but it's okay. We need to use the side of this brush and not the tip of it, but that's where the danger lies. Getting too aggressive. But I do like the color, and you know, this is us not being boring with it. It doesn't dry down massively quickly, so you do get to kind of work with it to some extent. And I do actually like the way it kind of, I don't know, goes to that Cleopatra place. Just because it's shimmery and these shapes feel very Cleopatra. So, if we try to draw this as liner, leaving the tape in place, right? Coming out of the lower lash line. You know, think about being at the Abbey. You'll turn all the heads with your funky, fresh, burnt orange eyeliner, right? Use the last little tidbits to make the inner corner flick. Can you have too much shimmer in the inner corner? I think you can't. I really do enjoy bronze and now what appears to be copper for just setting off the lash line, right? Not going to black. You don't have to just think about black. We did put darkness along the lash line with our brown Nikita Dragun shadow. Well, we don't just have to do black, right? We're not in a band. We're trying to be pretty. We're trying to think about color, right? As a person of color, that you have kind of a broader palette of colors and a different palette of colors to use, right? So that to me is what's powerful about Doja Cat and Nikita Dragun making makeup lines, because then it's not just the makeup lines that we're used to. Now this definitely did work for not only taking off some of my makeup, but also creating a straighter line, right? A straighter line that perhaps complements the straight freehand drawn inner corner flick, right? Do we need to put on a lot of black, what do you call it? A lot of black mascara? At this hour, maybe not, but I'm kind of pleased about this eyeshadow. I'm not going to say I have skills, but I'm surprised at the direction that this took. So, from here, we have a bunch of new complexion products. This Neutrogena niacinamide is very, very pigmented and orange. It will need to be mixed with something. Now, we do have this CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous Fresh Complexion Soft Honey. I know this color works very well. We have this Revlon Full Cover Foundation. Maybe it's too late at night for that. We want to paint over the contour and highlighting. So let's get into this, right? I think we did a beautiful job with this eyeshadow. The contour seems to be resting in exactly the right place. You know, between our gym going and our jaw contour, perhaps we won't be as guilty of, you know, looking well fed. But yeah, so if from here, and I've been looking with interest, people talk about using setting spray for, you know, after your makeup, during your makeup, spray, so much setting spray. Can I ask a rude question? Isn't setting spray alcohol? Can I just ask how much alcohol we need to be spraying on our faces? And as much as we're moisturizing and we're trying to stay moist and we're trying to look made up, what is the impact of constantly spraying alcohol on our faces? Because you'll hear some people say that primer isn't even necessary. And maybe if you're hitting a red carpet and it's a once in a while thing, that all of these really intense setting sprays, not finishing sprays, but setting sprays. But I think even the finishing sprays are alcohol in the sense that they need to spray on and evaporate quickly so that they don't liquefy your makeup. So just asking a question, and maybe some of our dermatologist friends can answer that. Like, over makeup combined with makeup, what is the story with using, you know, a lot of alcohol on your face? Right? I get it if you want to re-wet your face, right? If you feel like, you know, you kind of want to erase something, or you want a little bit more time to work with something. I get that, but I don't get just endlessly, especially in the desert, right? If you use the wrong cleanser, you're going to see it on your face. You're going to be like, oh man, that soap was too harsh. Oh man, I shouldn't have gone, you know, ham with all of that, you know, exfoliating alcohol, anything that has my enemy product, which is sodium lauryl sulfate, either in shampoo or facial cleanser or anything. My other enemy is sodium hydroxide. If I use anything, cleansing balm, mask, anything that has sodium hydroxide or sodium lauryl sulfate, even on my hands, it'll make my nails disintegrate and I will be in a world of hurt. You know, I just avoid those products like the plague. And you know, some people act like, you know, just squeeze, spray, so much product and chemicals and all this. And it's like, you know what? I get it with makeup. You wash it off. I don't get it with constantly abusing, you know, unnatural things, right? I see what makeup products are for sale at Whole Foods. And it's like 2 product lines, Pacifica and Mineral Fusion. I finally got my hands on some Mineral Fusion, and I want to see what it's all about. Do the people at Whole Foods know something that I need to know about in terms of, healthy, I don't know, what is the word? More healthful makeup preparations? Did the people at Pacifica, someone was clowning Pacifica today. Oh, it was Bethany Frankel. She was talking about how some sort of Pacifica blush palette it was supposed to be cherry and it wasn't cherry. She's hilarious. But, I get it about the lack of pigment. I get it about the limited shade range, but is there something about the makeup itself that we need to know? Right? We've seen discussions of talc, we've seen discussions of, beware of certain products or chemicals, or just make sure to wash them off, right? It's like a lot of things, right? You're not trying to bathe in shampoo. You're not trying to bathe in some of these, chemical preparations, but maybe at the end of the day, now this is looking kind of light vis-a-vis my neck, but it certainly has ably covered over our contour and highlighting. Is it giving us a skin-like appearance? It looks better in the mirror at a distance than it does up close. But then we always have the option of what? Taking our beauty sponge and bouncing it around until we get to a desired level of skin-like finish, right? I think a beauty sponge that was even more damp is even more effective. For some people call it blending. I say the beauty sponge takes off product, right? If you're feeling like it's looking chalky, if you're feeling like the blend is not what you think it should be, use your sponge to adhere to and remove anything that bothers you, right? This Nikita Dragun lip color is holding on for dear life. We did actually use the end of just a random makeup brush to finesse the edges because I really don't like staining my fingers if I can avoid it. If it's a must, okay. But, brushes have 2 ends. Remember that. I should make a t-shirt. Brushes have 2 ends, and if they're clean, they have a precision, right? It lacks warmth, but there's enough emollient that you just want your edges to be clean. You want the middle to be all colored in. You're looking at that exciting shape going out toward the temple. Take a look at your contour, see if it's blending into your hairline. Take a look at the top edge of that Wonder Stick pencil line. See if you can, make it look a little bit more natural. But we've definitely achieved a lifted shape, right? This lip is popping. We're not wearing liner, right? So from here, given the drama and the tones on our face, should we take some kind of brush and try to blend that very crisp line? Oh, this is an eyeshadow palette brush. Blend that crisp line that is living at well, that's another of the very same brush. Wow, look at me with all my clean brushes. Some sort of brush and just blend that clean line under our brows, right? We're not trying to disturb that burnt orange foil, but boy, does that look... If I was better at making that crisp, I do like the concept of what I did. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look as good as it can look, right? For a first run out of the gate, I don't hate it. I do like this kind of brow highlight. I just don't want it to look as sort of drawn on and extreme. I definitely like a light temple. right? I definitely like taking up space in the temple to kind of suggest larger eyes. I definitely like keeping track of where your dirty brushes are so that you can cycle them into washing. So from here, are we a cream blush or are we a powder blush? We definitely have a bunch of Wonder Sticks, right? They're different cream preparations from light to dark. So looking at this Doja Cat palette, right? If these shades are going to complement this burnt orange metallic, right? This very saturated lip, maybe we should just leave the cream out of it and really just get into a multi-tonal blush, right? In old days they called it draping. Since we have different shades here, and it does seem like this color is the most luminous, and this one is the kind of most kind of saturated. So if we take this, a fan brush, right? Can we do some kind of credible, should we take a fan brush or a blush brush? Let's wipe it on the back of our hand to make sure it doesn't have a lot of other color in it. Hopefully that did it. But looking at our cheek, remembering where our contour line was, let's take the darkest shade on the edge of the brush, right? And try to lift and sculpt that cheek. Top of ear, middle of ear, right? Other side, just kiss it into that blush. Checking mirrors, checking cheekbone, remembering where our contour line is. Top of ear, right? If that's the lower edge, if that's the contour edge of the blush, give it a little more, right? Thinking about the 80s, thinking about Duran Duran, thinking about just some crisp, stylized makeup that's gonna make all the heads turn, right? If you're getting flued out somewhere, if someone's inviting you to a special event for their business, right? You don't want to walk in plain Jane. You don't want to walk in looking like who did it and why. You want to walk in looking like bossed up, like I'm gonna wear this jewelry, I'm gonna wear this lip, I'm gonna wear something, have some sort of purse that means something. Next shade is this orange, right? This palette is called Doja Cat Flora. It's a powder blush trio. It is the shade range that's called Poppy. We're getting into it. Not poppy like Spanish Harlem. Poppy like the flower. The flower that they make actually some Class A narcotics out of, if you know what that means. So, looking into our far mirror, looking into our near mirror. Right on the cheekbone. It's orange. Orange on top of this mauvey brown. Use a light hand. Don't use all the fibers in that brush, but just kiss it onto the cheek. Other side, right? Put it on top of that other blush, right? Top of ear. Getting it even higher on the cheek. Parallel with that eyeshadow. What do you think? Maybe get a little bit on there. Dance it across the nose. I like the middle of the nose. Some people put it on the end of the nose. I still think that looks crazy. That looks like a mistake. I can't take it. I can't take the red end of the nose. I saw our friend Doja Cat in a music video like that, and I almost died. It looks like you've been doing things you shouldn't do. So, dotting that on the apple of the cheek. I don't hate this orange. Right? People raving about bringing pink up near the eye. But what if you're a warm tone person? What does pink mean if you're a warm tone person? I'm not Kylie Jenner. I'm not a winter. I have very yellow-orange undertones. And so for me, the yellow-orange in my skin cancels out an orange blush and makes it look what? Pink. Right? I'll always rock a coral before I go for a baby pink because of the way it looks on what? My skin tone. My skin tone, right? That's why I love the South Asian beauty gurus like Kaushal, right? Deepika, because they are Smitha Deepak. Like they are working with, you know, skin tones and colors that make sense to me as someone who's in the kind of deeper spectrum of color. Maybe a little on the forehead. Mixing these two colors, right? Some people say blush the middle of your forehead. I don't know about that. I like to kind of go over the contour on the sides. We've done a little bit of both, but I think we're looking interesting. I think we're looking sophisticated. We even have another color in this palette. Let's work with this fan brush and see what it's giving. It's kind of a goldy mustard color. Is it enough of a shimmer to be a highlight? Let's give it a whirl. Just here on the top of the cheek, right? Is it a blush trio like you're meant to wear them all together? Or is it a blush trio like you're supposed to wear them one at a time? I don't know, right? I'm thinking Rihanna in that yellow dress at the Met Ball. I'm thinking colors that not everyone at the party is going to be wearing. Does that read as a highlighter? Does it read as yellow on top of orange on top of this mauvey brown? I don't know. But we're building up some sophistication and interest on top of our contour. We definitely have makeup on. And we definitely have a lip on, and it's not nude for a change. Our friend Nikita Dragun made sure of that. I see people drawing little lines out of their lips. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if it's for me. I just don't know. We did actually get an interesting contour brush that we didn't use. This is a Morphe R3. We're going to get into this. It reminds me of the Wayne Goss brushes, but far cheaper, Lord knows. Getting something into the brow. This is our, keep working with it. This Revolution, Makeup Revolution London Soap Brow. The packaging is so pretty. The product itself, We wet our brush, scrape it around in this soap product. We messed up the other day and put that dollar store brow tint in our brows, and it made us look like, I mean, we looked like a cartoon villain. Mojo Jojo or something like that. It wasn't good, I'll tell you that. I'm nervous about pushing too hard on this. I want a fluffy brow, but I don't want to end up with smush on my face. I don't want to move my beautiful contour or any of my complexion products, right? Look at how fierce that graphic burnt orange. It's supposed to be liquid eyeshadow. Did we use it like liquid eyeshadow or did we use it like a graphic liner? I think we used it like a graphic liner. I can't imagine a big blob of this. It's so eye-catching. Too much of it would be a waste, but just using it to highlight those autumny tones in our eyeshadow combination. Look at us playfully dancing between a bunch of different eyeshadow and blush palettes. Look at us working with a completely different brand of lip product and then getting back into this brow product. Our stomach is growling. But can anything be more entertaining than grooming our brows at the end of this delicious makeup look, right? Who are you out to dinner with? In your mind, is it a rapper? Is it a politician? Is it an heir to some sort of family fortune? Is it the cute guy from your job? right? You took some time, you wanted to prepare, you wanted to look interesting. We can also take the back of this little brush and flatten the brows. See if they're gonna stick to our face and stay in this shape. Hopefully they will. I did watch something where it's like whatever brow product this woman put in her brows, the brows looked shiny afterwards. And I feel like that's not something that any of my soap brow products achieve. It never looks shiny. Maybe they'll look flat. Maybe the flat won't last, but the shiny part looked so dressed up. Her brows looked beautiful. So I always feel like I have to leave this product open to dry so it's not just sitting there being wet. But let's tuck our bra away. Do you see what I'm saying? Is my live still going? If I walked in, this is makeup, right? And I've even stunned myself with the sophistication and, you know, just how far I've gone with all these different colors and shapes on my eye. Now it looks more flattering in my faraway mirror than in my close-up mirror because I can kind of see the painting by the numbers in this mirror, but over here I'm just sort of looking at that bone structure and looking at the kind of interest and light around my eyes and like the tone. Even with this sort of brown top, it kind of evokes fall and these sort of warm colors. This lip is looking rather plummy and blue in contrast, but I don't hate it. I actually was trying to build a look that had weight to balance out this color. It's not a monochromatic look and it's not a nude lip. It's Dragon Blood from our friend Nikita Dragun. I wish I could read this label better, but the package is so dark you can't read the lettering. I almost want to peel it off so that I can read it exactly. But in any case, this is what it is. And it made me look good during a lot of short form videos today. That's why it's so late at night and I'm trying to do a little something here. Should we do something else? Should we add a lash? I don't know. At this hour, maybe not. Should we put more strokes of something into our brows to kind of extend the brow tail? What is this? Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen in Espresso. I think I have a couple of these. This one is Brow Tint Pen. It's from NYX. Ash Brown. I guess work with Ash Brown. Ash Brown probably is paler. See if we can build more of a brow, especially at the end. That's always my desire. And I see what people mean, like hair-like strokes. Now, I didn't necessarily do that right, but I see what people mean. And this is ash brown, so it's not even as dark as my brows themselves. But if you're trying to build a fluffy brow, is this, I think this might actually even be a brush tip. Am I crazy? If you push down harder, it'll give you a thicker line. And if you don't want a thick line, then don't push down hard. But I always am interested, ever since my passport photo, like I like to have a longer brow. Maybe even a bigger brow. Right? This is the kind of stuff you can't get away with when you're playing a cop. You're gonna be clocked immediately. I see people wearing like eyeliner and all kinds of stuff. I'm not even saying I'm doing this well. I think what you have to do with this product is just use just the tip, right? Just like that freakish. Now we've gone way too far. Talk about feathery. I look. But yeah, I'm testing it out. This color might be a little bit pale, but I see the spirit of it, right? But it gives you this sort of like masculine fluffy brow. I have heard people talking about it, and I've seen on TikTok people putting purple glue stick and concealer over their brows to make the brow straight. I'm not sure why. To make the brow thin. They've done that to me on period pieces where it was supposed to be the 20s. But can we just appreciate for a moment this very interesting blush trio, right? And the underpainting and the complexion product that has shrunken this forehead, created so much delightful color and shine around the eyes. We're not wearing mascara. We're not wearing real eyeliner. We have taken this liquid eyeshadow under the eye and over the eye to create a shape that is kind of stunning without being black. We do have a little bit of darkness with brown at the outer lash line, but I don't think that we need to do anything more artificial. I think that if we had started our lip with a liner, it would have given a sharper edge to our lips. It's not that we need to overline our lips at all. It's just for your lipstick not to kind of bleed and kind of look, you want it to look crisp. That, you know, when people draw that X or M on the upper part of the upper lip, it's to make your face look more stylized. It's not to change your face. It's just to make it look sharper and more enhanced, right? This is an unreasonable amount of brow hair that I've drawn. But I was testing out the pencil and I went a little crazy. But now I see the point of it. I see what you can do, maybe not up here, but just extending the brow that way. And in a darker color, and we do have that for next time, right? I kind of almost want to rub this lip off and put on a different color, but let's rock with the Nikita Dragun. I did not actually remember to use her face palette, so next time, Nikita, appreciate you, appreciate Soph X, appreciate Makeup Revolution London, appreciate Doja Cat and BH Cosmetics, appreciate Thread Beauty and this rich brown cool shade, appreciate it all. We really didn't get into a lot of powder today, but you know, tomorrow maybe we'll try this MAC Studio Fix in NC45 as another experiment for either bronzer or contour or something. Just, you know, work on some possibilities. All right. Well, thank you for joining me here on House of Tanya. I'm starving. There's fireworks. I gotta have a vegan burger, maybe a hot dog too, and some whole grain bread. But enjoy, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you for joining me. Bye.